In 1590, a rescue ship arrived at the shores of Roanoke Island to find a thriving English colony completely vanished, leaving behind only a single word carved into a wooden post. There were no bodies, no signs of a struggle, and absolutely no evidence of where these 115 people had gone. Think about that for a second. An entire population of men, women, and children simply evaporated into the Atlantic air. Governor John White had left them 3 years prior, fully intending to return with supplies, but the tides of history and war had other plans. When he finally stepped onto that sand, he was met with a silence so profound it felt heavy, almost suffocating. The houses had been taken down, not destroyed or burned, but methodically dismantled as if the people had moved on to a new life. But where do you move a village in the middle of a hostile, unexplored wilderness? The only clue was the word Croton carved deeply into a fence post, a message that has ignited centuries of frantic speculation. Was it a sign that they had retreated to the nearby island of the Croton people, or was it a dark omen of something more sinister? And here is where it gets truly disturbing, because the settlers had promised that if they left in danger, they would carve a Maltese cross into the wood. There was no cross, which suggests they left voluntarily, yet they left behind all their possessions, including heavy chests filled with their most prized belongings. Why would anyone choose to walk away from their survival supplies in an environment that wanted to kill them? Some theories suggest they were assimilated into the local tribes, their English blood slowly fading into the indigenous population over generations. But reports from later explorers of gray-eyed children among the tribes remain unverified, a whisper of a possibility lost to time. Others argue that they fell victim to a brutal Spanish raid, a silent strike from the sea that left no survivors to tell the tale. But the Spanish were obsessed with gold and glory, and they kept impeccable records of their conquests. They never mentioned Roanoke. Could the answer lie in the very earth beneath our feet, hidden by 400 years of rot and decay? Archaeologists have recently uncovered fragments of English pottery in areas once occupied by indigenous villages, but is it proof of migration, or just simple trade? It is a terrifying thought to imagine the desperation of those settlers as their food supplies dwindled and the winter winds began to howl. They were isolated, alone, and completely forgotten by a mother country distracted by the impending Spanish Armada. The psychological toll of that isolation must have been immense, a slow creeping madness as they watched the horizon every single day for a ship that refused to appear. Imagine the scene: a father, a mother, a child, all standing on the edge of a new world, watching their dream dissolve into the mist. Then, one day, the decision is made to go. They pack what they can carry, they dismantle their shelter, and they walk into the trees, never to be seen again. Were they led by hope, or were they running from something that lived in those shadows? The mystery of Roanoke is not just about a missing group of people, it is a fundamental question about the human spirit in the face of absolute despair. Could there be a supernatural element that we refuse to acknowledge, a darkness that swallows those who wander too far from their path? We look at the history books and see dates and names, but we fail to see the terror of that final night on the island. The more we learn, the more we realize that some secrets are not meant to be uncovered, preserved by the very land that reclaimed them. What happens when a society is erased from existence, leaving behind only a single word to mock those who come looking for answers? The carving itself has faced the elements for centuries, slowly wearing away, much like the memory of those who stood there. Every attempt to locate a mass grave or a settlement has failed, turning up nothing but the ghosts of what might have been. We want to believe there is a logical solution, a breadcrumb trail that leads us to a simple explanation. But history has a way of hiding its most painful wounds in plain sight. Perhaps they didn't want to be found, hiding in the safety of a world the Europeans were too arrogant to understand. Or perhaps they fell to something much more ancient, something that still lurks in the dense undergrowth of the Outer Banks. As I stand here, thousands of miles away from that site, I can almost feel the chill of that empty, windswept beach. The story of Roanoke is a reminder that we are small, fragile, and ultimately at the mercy of the unknown. What would you do if you were the last one left on that island, watching the trees sway in the wind, knowing no one is coming to save you? It is a question that has haunted the American consciousness for over 400 years. And it is a question that, in all likelihood, will remain unanswered for 400 more. So next time you walk through the woods and feel the hair on your arms stand up, remember the settlers of Roanoke. They were once just like us, filled with dreams and fears, until they became part of the mystery themselves. Some stories do not have a beginning, and they certainly do not have an end. They just exist in the shadows, waiting for someone to finally piece together the final, terrifying truth. Until then, the silence of the island remains the only witness to a tragedy that history has long since abandoned. Whatever the truth may be, we are left to wander the same paths they walked, searching for a ghost that refuses to be found. And maybe, just maybe, it is better that some things stay lost, buried in the soil of a forgotten past. Because if we ever truly found them, we might not like what we see. The island holds its breath, waiting for the next curious soul to arrive, only to leave them with more questions than when they started. So keep your eyes open, and stay wary of the messages left in the woods. For in the quiet places of the world, the truth is often hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to look closer. The lost colony is gone, but its shadow will loom over the Atlantic until the end of time.